Okay, we've got a lot to cover on this morning brief. Let's get right into it. Over the weekend, the House passed the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. Now, this passed the House, narrowly, I might add, but it passed. It still has to get through the Senate, which it most likely will do, and then the president will more than likely sign this bill. Let's talk about what this bill has in store for you. But before we get into it, I want to bring up something very disturbing. And I'm always telling you that this government does not have your financial interest at heart. And here's some proof of that, some actual statistical proof. Now, when you go through this bill, about roughly $1.1 trillion of the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill is actually allocated toward helping actual American people, the people that were impacted negatively when the economy was shut down, the businesses that were closed, the millions of people that were laid off. 800 billion, roughly, as I count it, is going to fund the arts, transit projects, and foreign aid. Now, I'm not the only one that is deeply concerned and disappointed over this. Representative, he's from Arizona, Representative Paul Gosar, he actually submitted an amendment that slashed non-relief spending. And after he calculated it, he came out with the figure that Americans should be getting $10,000 stimulus checks instead of $1,400 stimulus checks if you take away the funding for the arts, foreign aid, and transit projects. So that amendment was defeated, but he made his point. So let's go ahead and jump into what this bill looks like and what it would mean for you. Again, this has to go through the Senate, which it more than likely will sail through there. And then the president has to, of course, sign it. You've seen the old Schoolhouse Rock.
But I know I'll be your Lord someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
You should know how this works by now. All right. Stimulus checks of $1,400 are going out to individuals with incomes up to $100,000 and to married couples filing jointly with incomes up to $200,000. $100,000 for individuals, $200,000 for married filing jointly. They will get $2,800, the married couples. Extension of the federal $300 unemployment supplement to August 29th. Now, that was originally set to expire on March 14th. They're also adding $100 to that. So under this bill, the federal supplement to state unemployment will be $400 instead of $300. There's also going to be a $1,400 recovery rebate credit, $2,800 for married taxpayers filing jointly, plus $1,400 for each dependent for 2021. We're going to see an increase in the child tax credit to $3,000 per child, $3,600 for children under 6. The increased credit amount is going to phase out for taxpayers with incomes over $150,000 for married taxpayers filing jointly, $112,500 for heads of household, and then $75,000 for others. Now, those are the main highlights of the benefits for individuals and families. What you need to do is you need to check with your CPA and or tax preparer to understand exactly how this is going to benefit your specific situation. Talk to your financial professional. Now, for small businesses, we've got $15 billion in targeted economic injury disaster grants or disaster loans, EIDL money. Now, these are going to provide funds to businesses that are located in low-income communities that have no more than 300 employees and have realized an economic loss of more than 30%. And that will be determined by the amount of the entity's gross receipts and how much they declined during the 8-week period between the 2nd of March, 2020 and December 31st, 2021. So there's some time in there. That's going to be relative to a comparable 8-week period immediately preceding March 2nd, 2020, when this whole thing started. You got $7.25 billion in additional Paycheck Protection Program funds, PPP loans. Now, That's not a lot when you compare it to the $284 billion allocated in the first rounds of PPP. This bill does not extend the PPP application window, and that's currently set to expire on March 31st. So if you have not applied for PPP, you need to get in there, especially if you're a small business. You need to do it now. Apply, simply because the administration, they signed an executive order last week clearing the way for small businesses to get in there. And I think that's got one more week on it before the large businesses come back and are able to start applying again. Lastly, we've got, and this is really needed, but we need more. We've got $25 billion in restaurant revitalization funds with the eligible applicants. They're going to be eligible to receive up to $10 million per entity, per restaurant, or $5 million per physical location. Now, that's going to be calculated by subtracting 2020 revenue from 2019 revenue. They're limited to 20 locations, so this kind of keeps it in that small. McDonald's is not going to be able to probably apply for that. Then again, they might if they go by the individual franchised owned locations. So that's what this is looking like. As we have stressed 1,000 times, unless the stimulus and any of these tax benefits are absolutely needed to cover expenses, we strongly suggest that you use the funds to pay down high interest debt or increase your contingency savings, or both. We're going to keep you updated. This thing should be going to the Senate and coming through there some point early in the week, and maybe President Biden will sign it sometime later on this week. We shall see. We'll keep you updated. Thanks.